Hey YouTube, this is Joe Catrapalia with another episode of Joe Catrapalia Talks about building a shipping container home, tiny homes, or whatever else he's talking about. But as you can see lately, most of my time just spent talking about this shipping container home. Um, One of the biggest questions that I've gotten a lot is about my budget, and I see people posting all the time online about like what does it cost per square foot to do these, what does a shipping container home cost? That's kind of like saying what does a car cost, right? Or what's it going to cost to buy clothes, right? Like there's no one answer, and it depends a lot on the quality and what you do. And I'm building a pretty big home as far as shipping container homes go. It's not big, here in Texas. It's only 1,280 square feet, but it is bigger than a lot of the, single container homes you see. So I'm going to be more expensive than that. But I've also got quite a bit that lowers my cost per square foot, because there's certain things that you spend the same amount on no matter how big the home is. You still need a bathroom, you still need a kitchen, you still need a HVAC system, and you need to get your electrical and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the budget at the end of this video. First, it's been a while since I've really just shown you, a little bit all the way around, and so I took quite a bit of video this time. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. I'm just going to show you a little update. So this is the front side, sort of starting from the street. One of the things you can see, we've got this sort of raised little bridge area, because this site does get really wet when it rains, and actually almost has a river flowing through it. So one of the things you'll notice, they had put this up with this was just super flimsy, and it's something I had to have them take down, and it's going to be more expensive to put a real railing, but I mean, this was just a terrible solution, and I don't know, this whole part wasn't really in our plans, but I was repeatedly told it was in the budget. Clearly it's not, but again, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. You can also see that we tried to match the paint to paint the fronts of these the same color as the containers themselves, but that paint match color didn't go very well. Wait, this is the same one here. All right, the next one. So just going around a little bit more, you can see this a little bit better. I'm perfectly fine with the rusted steel, because where this is Corten steel, it's supposed to just rust like a scab and then not need to be maintained, but when they did do the painting to match, they just painted right over the rust areas, and I'm sure that's going to come through the paint sometime soon. Little shot of the back, and so this is the backyard, or the little area in between the two sections. This stack of metal right here is all of our roofing material, which seems like not nearly enough to me. But I'm told that this is as many panels as we need, and it's just super thin. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see. Now you can see, it's all starting to come together. We tried to cut down as few trees as possible in this process, and having this one just right up through the deck. We had thought about having a bigger deck and doing it all the way through. But I'll talk a little bit about where we're expanding decks, but we're going to just use this spot and maybe set up a 3-point hammock right here, having one of the points be there, depending on what that actual measurement is. I don't know. I ordered them. We're going to see if we can make it work. It might end up being this tree, and something else. But that's, originally we had some netting in the plans, and honestly, just a lot of this custom stuff has gone so poorly that I don't want to get them to try to do that. I still think it would be cool. I just need a little bit better of a team put together, and we need to be more on the same page before we're going to start to do some really innovative things. And I know this is kind of out there to begin with, right? Like, this is a much more elaborate project than probably was wise for me to do as my first own personal build. I'm sure I've talked about it on the channel before, but I have helped a lot of other people with a lot of other real estate deals. I've invested in properties myself, done a little bit of renovations on properties I've owned, but never done ground up construction on my own personal property. And so I probably should have started with something a little bit less ambitious. More on that to come. This is that same video I just did, and then here's just one more. You're just gonna sort of take a walk through here. You know, got somebody out here working on that deck, but I think I've been trying to avoid getting pictures of workers, but I don't think you could identify him at all from that. Oh, that's not the next one. There we go. Just take a quick walk inside here. I do really like this, you know, that we are able to keep as many trees as we were. I am pretty behind with video in progress too. I mean, this is probably almost a whole week ago, so we've got some more stuff done. Those are all the barrels that we talked about before. I think they're all spoken for different little projects that are going to go on here. So I think we're going to use all 22 barrels, either as furniture or actually part, like, you know, part of the vanity, part of a number of different things. So that was a pretty good score. You know, getting those for as cheaply as I did, and being able to figure out ways that we can use them all and are actually going to save money versus, you know, some of the things that they're replacing. But I think it'll be a really cool feature, and it'll be throughout the home. I don't know, we'll see. It'll depend on the execution. It also could just look like trash. So hopefully that's not where we end up. Also, let me know what you think about the video today compared to our normal video. I actually had my transaction coordinator do this while I was busy having a heated discussion with the contractor about the budget. Usually I take all my own video, and I think I end up not taking enough time with it, right? Because I just run through, try to point one or two things out, and that's it. I think he did a little bit better of a job. Just actually taking his time, getting quite a few little videos. There wasn't any one particular thing that I wanted to mention in any of these things. Oh, get somebody there, but hopefully, you know, I think he's not really going to mind, even if you didn't see who it was. But I think that was efficiently blurry. And I think this should be the last one. And so this is the front of the property. One of the things, all of this trim, well, not here, because this is where they tried to paint matching. It almost looks like they matched this instead of this. But this up here is going to all be that blue that we talked about. But let's just see. Yeah, and here's a little bit better shot of that bridge. Just this. I mean, I just can't even believe that they thought this was going to be okay. But yeah, we're changing that. Looks like we edited out this guy's head over here. He actually just doesn't have a head. I mean, I don't know. It's mind blowing. Something going on with the camera there. But I thought that was kind of neat. Anyway, so talking a little bit about the budget. I mean, this is why, you know, this is horribly embarrassing for me because, you know, I spent all my time working with real estate investors. If anybody's project who I worked with them on went like this, they'd probably never work with me again. A big part of why doing something like this, I looked at it as an experiment, knowing that a lot was going to go wrong. I was going to learn a lot, and you know, hopefully I'll still make some money at the end of the day. But so my initial budget, I was going to buy the land for $40,000, which is what I had it under contract when we made this plan. I'd actually originally put this under contract to do a tiny home on, and so those numbers look completely different. I think I did a video on why that didn't happen quite a while back. But if you have questions, feel free to reach out about that. The contractor had, you know, contacted me about doing these container homes and had given me a quote of $81,000. We already had the blueprints. I mean, this was like with everything that, you know, doing it, basically the home that we're doing. Any changes that we've made have all been things trying to reduce costs. So that number up front, I should have known it was just a completely made up number. I mean, it was $40,000 cheaper than the next quote that I was given. So I went into this thinking 81 wasn't really the number, but I actually had put aside about 100,000 to do, you know, was what my budget was. Never indicated that to anyone other than, you know, obviously my wife and people like that, but didn't let the construction guys know that that's really where I thought it was going to end up. But so, you know, that total original budget was supposed to be 121,000. and I thought when it was all done, we should be able to sell it for about $165,000. Now this was back in December. A lot of things have changed since then. Currently, the budget that we're working with, my land cost didn't change. The construction budget, if you just, they've updated it a number of times. I'm actually not working with the original contractor anymore. He still checks in occasionally, but it's really one of his guys that's just taken this over, is running the budget. He's given me a new budget, and it's $113,000. And this was, he actually had given me one at 110 and then 111. Now it's 113. It's pretty clear to me it's going to go over this, because we keep running into things where he's just like, well, we just didn't have money in the budget for this, which is, to me, is preposterous, right? Like, we had the plans, like, why wasn't that the case, right? Like, it was made when we already had the plans, and we already were, well into this when that 110 budget was made. But, that being said, total current, about $153,000 is what it's going to cost me to finish this, if I believe those numbers. But the market's really helped us at the same time, and I think when this is done, I'll probably sell it for, well, if I wanted to sell it, I could sell it for around $200,000. I mean, if you've been watching my videos, not really planning to sell this, but that higher value does help me, because I could refinance based on that value and pay myself back. I actually have done a small refinance with a private lender. If that's a topic you're interested in, I'm happy to talk more about that. So I've recouped a whole bunch of what I put into this. It's made it so I'm plenty liquid to finish this if I have to be, but also had to, I had put a lot of different things on cards. My Home Depot card was maxed out, all that sort of stuff. So, refinance that out basically. Could definitely sell the land and the project for more than I owe on it today, even though it's not finished. I mean, someone would jump at it. So pretty conservative. But anyway, of the $113,000 construction budget that we have, we've already spent $107,000. And we're supposed to be done in 2 weeks, which is, probably the 13th deadline that we've had, because originally this was going to be done 6 months ago. Ran into all sorts of problems, which if you've been following along, you know about a lot of them. But so that's why, there's no chance, and it is further finished than what you've seen today, but it's not, miles ahead of these pictures. I haven't been out there. Like I said, these are about a week old. So no chance the rest of that stuff is getting done for $6,000. Which is why, my guess of where we're really going to end up, still just $40K for the land, probably total construction budget $125,000. People that looked at this probably think that's crazy. A lot of the materials are already paid for. We've got all the stuff for a lot of different parts of this. A lot of it's sitting here in my condo. Some of it's at the site. We're trying to keep as little at the site as possible, other than the big stuff, just because it's not extremely secure. But anyway, I think we're probably going to spend another, $15,000 beyond where we are today. And that's my guess. And it certainly could go up. But if that is, if we get it done at that amount, it's going to be $165,000 all in. I'll still have created some equity, had a big help from the market moving during this time. But also, part of what hurt us, I think, was prices of some of the materials. Although that, it doesn't even begin to explain how far beyond that we are. Maybe when everything is all done, and I don't mind really being transparent about some of this stuff, I'll do another update where I'll really talk about line items and where all that extra money went. Most of which was really just delays and extra labor, because most things took significantly longer than what were originally budgeted for. In any case, thanks for watching until now. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, I'm going to keep making mistakes so that you don't have to.